Hello everybody and welcome to this pick a card reading video. This video is all about the timeline of your next relationship. So if you're in a relationship, this likely will not apply to you unless you still feel drawn to this reading. You can give it a go, and if you're drawn to any of the piles, you can give it a listen. Take what you need from it, but this is mainly for singles, the timeline of your next romantic relationship. Now, I'll probably, because of my own personal experiences, be using terms related to monogamous relationships. If I do that, that doesn't mean it's only, unless the cards say otherwise, it doesn't mean it is going to specifically only be a monogamous relationship if you choose. Like, if you're in an open relationship of some kind, or just anything that's non-monogamous, then that doesn't mean it's not for you. So if I use certain kind of languaging, that's just me being a typical monogamous person. But you belong here still if you're drawn to any of the stacks and if you are not monogamous. Okay, but we should see, maybe the cards will even say anything about that. But this is, yeah, so it's not just about the timing. There will be information about your relationship as well. You'll see more of what I'm going to do once you click into your specific pile. You could feel drawn to more than one pile. It's less likely for these kinds of relationships, but, you know, maybe you'll gain something from this and then some more information that's different from and opposite from this, but it's still cohesive. So just use your intuition. I decided to use crystals. I usually don't. We have rose quartz for 1A, mookaite jasper for 2B. This is one of my mom's favorite crystals. And then I forget what this is called for 3C, but it's not an ammonite. I know it has the spiral, the Fibonacci sequence in there, but I don't remember what exactly. I think it's a type of shell. It's not an abalone shell. Something of the sort. But yeah, you can pause the video if you need some more time to figure out which stack you are most drawn to, if any. And if you're not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you, but I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos as well as collective reading videos all throughout my channel. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. All right, let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The signifier card here is 12 months from now, number 29. So it could also mean like the 29th of a month or 29th even of like December, because 12. But anyway, this card doesn't signify when your next relationship will be necessarily. This could be when your next relationship is, when it begins, like when it's established or when you start talking to somebody in the talking phase. It could be 12 months from now. But when I was pulling these cards for these signifier cards relating to time, oh, 1 second. Okay, so I had to pause it because I had thought my cat was going into the bathroom to start. If you're new around here, my cat likes to open up the cupboards and get in there. He was actually going to his litter box, and so actually it's a good thing I paused it anyway because he was going to do that. And so I was just chilling, and I was getting some more messages as I was laying there. It feels like, so hear me out, for some of you, this person who you will next be in a relationship with could be somebody you already know or somebody you're like off and on talking to. So 12 months from now could be when everything is finally established or when you finally start, either or both of you start getting more serious about one another. That could also be because, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like people who do military training or people who do some sort of work-related training, or they just do like a long stint of being somewhere. And so they have to like travel around quite a bit. And then they have to... So then they're like away from people. So then that's why it's hard to form any relationships. That isn't going to resonate for all of you, but when I was taking... Here's the thing too. For some of you, when I was over there, I was hearing, because this is 1A, but I was also hearing first in line, like somebody else is first in line. So this person that you'll end up dating could be somebody, whether you know them or not. They could be somebody who is in actually a relationship right now. So first in line, somebody else is first in line, somebody else is already with them. Or maybe right now you could even be like, now or in the future you could be like a backup option. Or maybe even the safe option. And sorry, my cat might be making noises on his cat tower. His tail's hitting that. I might have to move him. We'll see. What was I saying though? Oh, that's the thing too. I was getting how do I want to word this? Like, you might have breaks in between really talking to one another. Or it could be even, I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of different things that I'm throwing in there. So a lot of this could resonate, or certain pieces could resonate, but it's also, it just gives me the vibes of there's breaks in between. So things can't really be established because there's so many breaks because of life happening, like people being busy or people being away from their home base. Therefore, you being away from them. But for those of you who that does not resonate with, this 12 months from now, again, it doesn't have to directly mean that that's when you will finally start dating or when you will meet this person. Maybe you already know them, or you could meet them like next week, right? Although I don't get the vibe from that. I feel like at least a few months from now for a lot of you is when you'll meet them, at least. But yeah, so this could be when you meet them, or it could be when you establish a committed relationship, or it could just indicate a major shift in the relationship. Like 12 months from now could be when you, let's say you start dating a few months from when you're watching this, and then 12 months, so then it'll be 9 months after that, let's say, equals 12 months, is when finally you both say you love each other. That's a major milestone. So this doesn't have to be when it's founded. It could be when a major milestone is hit. Although I will say it does feel like for most of you, this will be about when things are finally established. Like, things won't be up in the air. Things will be, okay, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or partner and partner, girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever. We are finally establishing this into a committed thing. And the energy around this too, it kind of feels like, oh no. The energy I get from this is that once you are actually in a committed relationship with this person, it will be kind of boring. So I wonder if you're the kind of person who would actually be better with a monogamous relationship, having some, or a non-monogamous relationship, some sort of polyamorous or open relationship seems like it might be best for you. I don't know. It feels like you don't like to feel restricted. And I think maybe you already know that, but then you try, let's say you or the other person is like this, but then the other, like you or the other person involved is like, hey, I actually would want this to be a committed thing, or else I'm gonna like not talk to you anymore. So then it's like you give it a shot, but then it just does not work out. That's the vibe I get. That doesn't have to be a bad thing that it gets boring. So maybe the 12 months from now can indicate that's when you realize things shift in that way, where it's like, the honeymoon phase has worn out. This person does not feel like a toxic person by any means, by the way. It just feels like, and there's a lot of compatibility. It's also very much the energy of like right place, wrong time, or right time, wrong place. Like there's something that's a missing piece. It seems like that's already happening now if you already know this person, or that will happen in the beginning of knowing them, where there's always one piece missing, or there's not missing, but one person's over here and then one person's way over here. And it's like, when then you try to get closer, but then it's like you kind of swap places. So it feels like there's always going to be an imbalance where somebody's not going to be as fully available. Granted, I want to say, like, you hear about balance in relationships. And I actually like when people say a relationship isn't always going to be 50-50. Like, sometimes it's more balanced one way than the other. But for you all, it feels like it's in a way that grows you more distant and kind of gets you both bored with one another, where it's like you just can't fully make things work where it needs to work. And any imbalances are always like that. It doesn't ever feel like you can both be closer to balanced, like more neutral with one another. It's like one person also, it could be the energy of one person is giving a lot of time and energy, but then they become busy and then you have to give all the time and energy into making a relationship work. So that's very interesting. I want to pull cards now from the Love Me Not Oracle deck, messages from your person to reveal their true feelings for you. So I'm going to get the, first I gotta get rid of these cards. First I want to see, I'm gonna do past, present, future. Should I do past? I'm gonna do now. I guess because this is 12 months from now, I'll do now. I feel like doing 3 months from now though. So now, 3 months from now, and then 12 months from now, the energy of the relationship. Do I want to do it? I actually feel like just pulling one card instead of two, because usually with this deck, I do like how you feel versus how they feel. But I feel like I shouldn't do that. I should just do, at least for you all, I should do one card. So maybe I don't want to say now. Do I want to say now? That's what I feel like doing. So now, how the relationship is. I feel like putting that back in. I'm just gonna put it down. I'm not the person you make me out to be in your mind. Okay, so right now in fantasy, okay, that's actually really good that we have this. You could have an idea of how you want your romantic, again, this doesn't mean you have to know them already. Some of you maybe do, some of you don't. This person that you have in mind doesn't have to be somebody you already know. It could be somebody who you just have this idea of who you want this next person to be. It's more than just that, where the fantasy is about the dynamic of the relationship. Like, it very much gives me the vibes of maybe you want the kind of relationship where it's like you are this princess and you want your Prince Charming and you want this certain fairy tale love story, and then you want this fairy tale ending. So Spirit is saying that right now, how you think about what you want in this next relationship is unrealistic. Now, that doesn't mean we can't have some fantastical thinking, but the way you have it set up is, it's almost like, how am I trying to describe this energy that I'm seeing and sensing right now? It doesn't necessarily make you happy, these ideas that you have for this next romantic partner. It's just what you feel like would make you happy. So I'm going to say that again. A lot of the ideas you have for this next romantic relationship are founded in ideas that you think will make you happy, not ideas that actually would make you happy. It's about what you think. So your perception of it. So part of that is realism. Part of it is just like something that looks, I'm seeing somebody write something and it looks good on paper, but then when it's implemented, it's not very nice. It makes me think of those people who are into being trad wives nowadays. Like, maybe on paper you think it looks nice, you just want to be a stay-at-home mom, so the trad wife aesthetic, like somebody who's more conservative or traditional, matches your energy. But then let's say you, in the future, you would become that type of person, and then you'd be kind of miserable, or maybe be fine with it, but it's like, oh, this isn't as good as I thought it would be. This doesn't make me as happy as I thought it would. So Spirit is saying, basically just to rethink what you want your next relationship to be. You can still have expectations, so it's not about that. I really don't know how to explain it, except for it's like the way you view it. The way you are viewing how you want your next relationship to be is not healthy. It's not, because it's not something that would actually make you happy. Let's see what it will be like 3 months from now, because maybe for some of you, you'll meet, is it this top card? No, is it? Let's do it. Doubts. I recognize the potential between us, but I also harbor some doubts. So that's part of the fantastical thinking that shows up too, where people, again, it's like it looks good on paper, and like ideally you have similar beliefs, so you have a similar lifestyle, you have a lot of similarities, but you also have doubts because it doesn't align with the ideas that you used to have. So 3 months from now could be in relation to if you know this person or you start talking to this person or not, but it could also be like even if you're still single or trying to find somebody. I think either way you'll have these realizations of, you know what, maybe what I once thought I wanted, I don't want. So then that will make you completely look at your current or future romantic partner 3 months from now very differently. And also, like, I just see, like, not even deal breakers, but how you expect your future to be, like, 5 years from now, I'm hearing. Your future that you see will indicate who you date and how you want to date. I hope that makes sense. 12 months from now, let's see how the situation will be. I was gonna pull tarot cards, but I think I already am getting all the messages I need, honestly. I don't even know if I'll need to for the other people, but 12 months from now for 1A. What is the message for them? For how the energy of the relationship will be. I don't want this to discourage you, by the way. I actually see this being good because it's like I'm seeing somebody open their eyes and expand. It's okay for our ideas to shift and change. Don't think that you're running out of time. I don't get the sense that you're trying to rush it anyway, a lot of you, but it's just a good reminder. Don't think you're running out of time or that you're unworthy just because your ideas of what you want in a relationship change or what you want in a partner specifically, certain attributes. Okay. Attracted, you're incredibly alluring to me. This is actually a good sign because you know how I was talking about things getting boring and stale? I actually feel like pulling another card. This is saying that it's like a spark will be reinvigorated. And when we have these different... My love life isn't really a priority at the moment. Okay. So maybe for some of you, you'll realize you're not really looking... let me move these closer. Maybe you'll realize you're not really looking for anything long term because it feels like there's a lot of internal stuff you'll be working through. And this doesn't feel like it's scary or bad in any way. It just feels like it's a lot. So because it will be a lot, you'll have too much energy to focus on yourself instead of focusing on another person. Is everything in frame better now? Just have to keep moving everything in. That should be okay. That's fine. But yeah, it just feels like... Also, it could be that you're still attracted to this person, but because your ideas of what you want for a relationship, your priorities that you have for a relationship, because those have shifted, and for a lot of you, a lot of these ideas like have completely been flipped to a 180-degree angle. It feels like because of that, this person, you know what I'm hearing too, even if you're, for some of you, maybe you'll just keep being in this fling with maybe your next relationship. Spirit is just saying it's more still of a fling, or it's not like fully committed. For some of you, it still is fully committed, but it feels like you're like, yeah, like on paper you looked good before for the previous me, but 12 months from now, you're still somebody I find attractive, but our beliefs don't align is what this can indicate. Or it's just, like I was saying, you could be going through something personally, and so you're putting energy toward yourself or toward your family. And so love life isn't a major priority. So maybe it could be a thing where, hey, well, if you want, we can still like hook up, but you wouldn't want to be completely committed. There's just a lot of personal stuff either way you have going on. And that also does like even if you have personal stuff outside of romantic life going on, it feels like the other stuff that's going on will still make you view love life differently. So like let's say you have a parent who gets cancer, and then that happening reframes and reworks your beliefs around your own love life and what you'd like to see in your future. Maybe it can determine whether or not you even want to have kids, or it determines where you want to live, how close you want to stay to family. So I don't get the sense that it's anything bad. It's just, like I said, it's like one person, maybe it's is over here and you're over here. Right place, wrong time, or wrong time. Wait, right place, wrong time, or right time, wrong place. There's just something that's always out of place for this next relationship. But I see this being very helpful for you to know what to do for whenever you are in that next established, committed relationship with somebody. I really have to emphasize, and I think a lot of you already get the vibe that it's okay, but I have to emphasize just in case, this does not feel bad at all. It feels very helpful. It's the best word I can use to describe, is helpful for you on your journey. And it feels like if you're not an independent person, I see you growing in your independence, and really with that being like knowing your worth more too in the future, 12 months from now. And yeah, I just see you being independent, either if you're with somebody or you're not. And part of that is also knowing, being more firm in what you know to be true for yourself and how you wish your relationships to be. And that isn't even just romantic relationships. That's all your relationships I see being impacted 12 months from now. So I hope that this was helpful for you, 1A. You can like the video, you can subscribe, you can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe. I already said that, sorry. You can subscribe to my ASMR channel. It's also linked down below. I have plenty of timeless pick-a-card reading videos on my channel, as well as collective readings. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, 1A. Bye-bye. Hello, 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick-a-card reading video. The card you have here is, it says number 8. We have the Mukai Jasper, and it says the time is now. So this could be somebody that you already are talking to. The time is now. When I pulled this card, this doesn't have to insinuate when you'll meet your next partner, long-term partner, or I guess even short-term, but that wasn't what I had in mind. I just had in mind, when I was playing from this deck, I was asking about when, like, what would be an important time in this next relationship? When would be an important key time? So it could be about when it starts, even when it ends. It could be about a major milestone, such as moving in together. But for some of you, it feels like you're already in the talking phase with this person, or this is just Spirit's way of saying the time is now to finally put yourself out there. If you've been single for a while, or if you just haven't known, maybe, you know, since your last relationship, you're like, I don't know how much time has passed. I want to say this. It doesn't usually, for the most part, matter how much time has passed since your past relationship. It's about when you are ready and when you're moved on enough from that past relationship. So if you're wondering, like, I don't know if I'm ready, don't worry about time past. Worry about if you're ready. It could be 20 plus years and you could still not be ready, right? So if the question is if you are ready, Spirit's like, yes, you are ready. Don't think about how much time has passed, because the time is now. You are ready to go out there and meet somebody new. So it could be somebody you already know. For some of you, though, obviously it's probably not. I'm seeing somebody on, like, social media apps, though. So if you've been on, not social media, well, that too, I guess, but dating apps specifically. So if you download dating apps, it could indicate that you'll soon meet somebody on those dating apps. I actually get the vibe that even if not, the time is now. It's good because out and about, especially if you live somewhere it's smaller, there's less people who are around, it can be hard when people are like, oh yeah, just put yourself out there. It's like, I already know, like, everybody, or it's hard to meet people in public. This is a good sign from Spirit that I'm getting, that you could meet this person on why do I keep wanting to say social media? So you could meet them on social media, but I mean to say dating apps. Hey, it happens. It makes me think of Drew Gooden met his wife technically through Vine, and then he messaged her on Instagram, and that's how they started talking, and then they became an official couple, and now they've been together a long time. So you could meet this person on social media. It also reminds me of, like, I'm part of different groups on Facebook, so if that resonates, maybe even like other chatting places, or like on a gaming console, like a game. That could also be how you meet this person. But I see you being very chatty. So Spirit is saying it's time to talk to multiple people. Don't just try to focus on that, like, quote unquote end game of whether it's marriage or just being with somebody long term. Don't focus on that. Spirit wants you to Ooh, with the heart too, I'm hearing lighthearted. And just Mookaite is a very like childlike, fun, playful energy. So spirit wants you to not be afraid to put yourself out there, but also to just have fun with it. Don't worry about end goal. Don't even worry, but just think about having fun. And if you're not having fun, remind yourself like constantly, like, it's okay, this isn't the biggest deal. Like, I'm just going on a date. I don't have to put so much pressure on it. Spirit's like, time is now, but don't put pressure on it. Just allow things to unfold naturally. And when things feel the most fun and natural is when it's the most correct. That's how you'll know too that you are with the right person. It will feel natural. You won't feel super anxious around them. I hate when people talk about the whole butterflies in the stomach thing and how that's a good thing, because it's not. It's your body indicating to you that you're anxious and that you don't feel safe or comfortable around this person. A lot of times people have at least some level of this, like, and relate it to nervousness, and that's fine. But when it's like full blown, always like butterflies in the stomach or in your gut, then that's not good. That's actually not your intuition saying go for it. If you're getting a lot of nervousness, that's a sign that this is not the person that's meant for you. When it feels natural, and also I get the feeling that this next relationship, it will be with somebody who feels like a friend. I don't get the sense that if you know this person already, that they are a good friend of yours. Like at the most, they could be somebody who's like a friend of a friend, maybe a coworker if you don't always like see each other at work, but it feels more further removed than that. So, but I'm just saying that because it feels like you could get along well as friends as well. This is somebody who you can hear about successful relationships. It's like, oh, I'm dating my best friend, or I'm married to my best friend. That's how it should feel. It should feel like, and then that will help remove the pressure from it as well, because it will feel natural, and there will be a level of respect that you both have for one another just right off the bat. And it won't feel like anybody's trying to rush things. It will feel like you'll go at a steady pace in this next relationship. So if you're in a relationship, or if you've been in relationships in the past where people are very tiptoeing around wanting to be with you and then they end up like ghosting you or whatnot, that's not going to happen. You'll get more clear communication here, and you'll, not just from the vibes, but they'll directly tell you when they're ready for like any next steps or how they're feeling. And also, it's not something where it will be completely rushed and like after 2 weeks you say you love each other and all that. It will be a lot more steady. So I think for a lot of you it could be very new, and it might feel actually unnatural because you're not used to that. But it's something where spirit is saying to adjust. This is also a time of like things will be different, but spirit is saying that's a good thing. A lot of the time in relationships, when things can be different, feel different, like the person that you end up with next could be somebody who's very different from somebody you've dated in the past as well. But spirit is saying to give people a chance, and you never know what could happen. And maybe it's like these ideas you have of the kind of partner you should have, maybe it comes from either familial or friend or societal expectations of like how somebody should look or what type of job they should have. But I'm hearing also too, for some of you, maybe you tend to like quote unquote date up or like date even on your level. Let's say you're a doctor and you want to date somebody who's also in the medical field, or somebody who makes around the same amount of money, or who is just has a very professional profession. But then in that kind of instance, spirit could say, well, your soulmate is actually a bartender, right? So think about that. I think actually your next partner could be somebody who is more like their work is more playful, not necessarily creative, although it could be. Like it could be somebody who's a teacher. I get a very kind-hearted person coming through, not somebody who's particularly super shy, and not super introverted necessarily, but they do tend to kind of keep to themselves is what I'm getting. Okay, that was a lot of messages I was getting there. I am cutting myself off because I want to get into these cards. I'm going to pull them differently. This is the time is now. I'm going to pull over here 3 months from now. How the energy... do I want to do that? Should I do 3 months into the relationship, 6 months, and then a year from now? And then this top card, this has been happening. Do I want to put this over here where the top card wants to come out? But I'm gonna wait. I feel like this wants to be over here for the 6 months from now. What about or not from now, sorry, from when the relationship is established, like official. Or you could consider it like 6 months from when you start talking to the person, if that makes more sense. But so maybe that, you know what, maybe that's actually the case. 6 months from when you start talking to this person romantically. So maybe it's not even when it's established. That's what I'm getting from over here. But this will be 3 months into the relationship, maybe. Okay, I'm just doing what intuitively is being said to me. But okay, how will that energy be for your energy and the other person's energy 3 months from now? Let's do that. Your feelings versus theirs. Or 3 months into the relationship and or talking phase. Okay. Yeah, there's an energy between us, a vibe that can't be denied. That's the thing. It should feel like very natural. Let's see what their thoughts are 3 months into it, though. And it will be easygoing. It won't be like, oh my God, we've been together 3 months. We need to think about this, this, and this. Things will come up naturally. Certain conversations will be had naturally, and if there's anything that's bothering you, or you feel like you need to have addressed, then you can do that. But you don't need to have all the tough conversations right away, is what I'm hearing. Like, things don't have to be so serious right away. Where's the other person's energy here? I do feel like they're quite different from you, though. This next person you'll date. What is their energy? Why do I feel an aloofness? Maybe it's because they kind of won't even know. Because I don't know if they even necessarily usually take relationships or romance very seriously. But I don't get the vibe that they're a bad person. Quality time. I definitely want to spend more time with you. Yeah. So it's like they're easing into it. So maybe when they start dating you, I wonder if it will have been quite some time since they've been in a relationship, is the vibe I get. It could be that they recently got out of one, but I feel like it's the opposite of that, where it's been quite some time since they've been in a relationship. So that's why they're just easing into it. They're kind of scared of, I don't want to say they're scared of commitment. They're just, there could be some of that in there, but I think they're scared of, the way I can phrase this is they're scared of their romantic partner like flipping on them or turning into a completely different person. I think they've had issues with that in the past, where maybe it's because the person didn't show their true colors until later in the relationship. Or it could be that people just change, and so then, they grow apart from another person. So it feels like, I think they'd be a little bit nervous and hesitant because of you two having quite a few stark differences. But I think that you do intrigue them, and that you... I think when you spend time together, it will be like in batches. So like a few days at a time, or like a weekend together at one person's place. And then maybe you don't see each other for the rest of the week. And then you see each other for 2 days and you don't speak. I don't get the sense of that. Because I do think they're a good communicator. I think they'll let you know if they're busy. But I think, this makes sense too, those quality time. Because I think, they're the type of person, they aren't maybe as much of texters, but they'll still text to make sure everything's all good. But there's somebody who wants to spend more time with you. And I'm also hearing, like, be around your people. So being around your friends and your family to see if you change yourself, and if you do, in what ways. If it's, like, a deal breaker, the way you do. We all present in different ways to different people. But I think, so if it's certain things, maybe you just, like, let's say you're very flirtatious, but when you're around family, then you're not. Like, that one, for example, that's obviously not a red flag. To not be flirtatious with your family. Whoa. Sorry. I'm tapping into some other energy here. And it's making me emotional. I think they could be falling in love with, like, at this point, I don't want to say they're falling in love with you, but I think I feel their heart softening and, like, not getting butterflies, but it's, when you realize you're, like, starting to really fall for somebody. even though it's only been a few months, I think that scares them because they're like, oh, well, I hope that this doesn't disappoint me, this relationship, and I hope that things continue to be good. And I think they're nervous for whenever really bad times could happen. They're probably more conflict avoidant. We'll have to see, but it feels very lovely. And then, so this is 3 months into the relationship. This is 6 months from now. So who knows, maybe this could even be at around the same time. But 6 months from now, or from when you start talking, sorry. So, I mean now, so hopefully soon. 6 months from when you start talking, I think, this could indicate, the open-minded card could indicate wanting to open up the relationship or not make it actually official. Because there is this energy of conflict avoidant, but also like just avoidant in general, at least on their end. And I don't think you're as avoidant, but I think you're okay with kind of, at least even if you're not like this in the past, with this connection, you're more likely to go with the flow. But it feels like, first, okay, wait. I feel like I need to pull another card. Okay. I recognize how special and unique you are. So yeah, there's good vibes between you both. I just think there's the being scared of commitment or being scared of things. I think some of you could be scared of losing your freedom is the way this comes across. Or the other person, I think, too. Where they don't want to be, like, parented and told what they can and cannot do. Let's pull a final card. What's the energy? I feel like pulling from the... no, I won't. What's the energy? And I feel like just pulling one card over here as well. But what's the energy a year or 12 months from now or after they have started talking, Spirit? What is the energy between them both? I feel like you'll be closer to on the same page 12 months from now, but there will still be some imbalances. But I don't get the sense it's bad. Like, you don't have to always be on the exact same wavelength as your partner. And this is like a slow process and a slow burn is the way this comes across. I'm hearing elusive. So maybe it'll be hard for you to ever meet that person's friends or family. Or like they're scared of the dynamic changing or being bad because of maybe their prior relationships. Where it's like, you didn't really choose the best partners. Or something. Okay, cards from over here flew out. Isn't that card? Invisible. I don't really see any romantic way. That's too bad. I want to get a clarifying card. Because I don't trust it. I'm hearing elusive. They might say that they lose a spark, or you might lose a spark. It could be because things are such a slow burn that it feels like you're not really making much progress. I want a clarifying card for this. So you could feel invisible to the person because they don't really, maybe it's not even that they don't see in a romantic way. It could just be how they speak to you, almost like, because again, it feels like you would be good friends is what I was saying for you all. I want some more clarifying cards though, please, Spirit. Or one more clarifying card. And authentic. I'm not really looking for anything real right now. People go to their old ways. I'm going to go like this so you can see the... So it could be that you, after some time, like 12 years from now or 12 years... Why do I keep saying it? 12 months from now or 12 months from when you start talking, it could be that you or the other person or you both realize you're better off as friends. I think the slow burn, because it's so slow, that might be what causes it to fizzle out. But I just think there's some sort of reason that I get this mainly from the other person, but it could be also on your part as well. But if it is on your part still, I think there's a level of it also being involved with the other person where there's being afraid of commitment or just not being ready, even though you're ready. So yeah, I think it's mainly the other person where they think they're ready or they're trying to force themselves to be ready, but then they're not fully ready. So then it's like they kind of see you 12 months from now differently. And I don't think anybody here is a bad person. Let me just say that. I just think this person's confused. That doesn't mean you can't be with them though. Who knows? I want to stress this. The future can always change. So you never know. And this doesn't directly mean you won't be together anymore. Like maybe you'll take a break after some time. But like there's this special card here of realizing how special the other person is, like for both of you. Maybe it will inevitably be so slow of a burn that it just completely fizzles out. But I get the sense that Spirit still wants for you to go for it. I'm trying to find a phrase. I'm hearing there's no pain in trying, even though I know there can be pain. But I think the reason Spirit is saying that is because it's better to be in pain because of having given it a try versus being in pain because of wondering what if. And like there's happy moments that are had here. There's good times and good vibes. So Spirit's like, that's not time lost. The time is now. Like you don't have to put so much pressure on things to work forever. So with that, it's like if it doesn't work out in the future, Spirit doesn't want for you to be down on yourself or think that it was a waste of time for you or the other person, because it's not. There were good times had, but when if it fizzles out, it just fizzles out, and you just have to accept it. There's a lot of acceptance here of being like, it is what it is, and the eight is infinity. So it's like, it also reminds me of as above, so below, as within, so without. So with that specifically, I'm thinking, yeah, just don't put so much pressure on it, even in the future. Like looking at this, don't be anxious about this. It could change, or it could just be a break period. Either way, I'm hearing that you should live life to the fullest, so don't be afraid to get your heart broken or for things to love not to last forever. Love can fade sometimes, but that's okay, and it's part of your life journey, and there like an emphasis still on the good times had and meeting new people. Okay. Also, I feel like there's at least one friend you can meet potentially on their side who you might be friends with for at least a bit, or who could help you in some way. Okay, but I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much to B for watching and listening. I hope this was helpful for you. You can like the video, you can subscribe, you can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can check out my other timeless pick a card readings on my video, as well as my collective readings. You can check out my ASMR channels and any of my other socials linked down below. Thank you so much again, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. We have here the heart shell crystal rock, and we have 45, and it says next year looks promising. For 1A, their card was 12 months from now, but the energy is very different for this stack. You could feel drawn to this stack and the other stack still. Maybe you've already listened to that one. Whenever I do pick a cards, if I feel drawn to, like, let's say 1 and 4, and if I feel more drawn to 4, I'll listen to 4 first before 1. But yeah, just know that 1A, it says 12 months from now. I'm so sorry if I ruined that, I spoiled that. But like I said, this is a very different energy that is showing up here. It feels like, I don't want to word this. I just think a lot of things will happen very quickly. I am always an advocate for people taking their time, but it feels like for you all, it will work for things to happen more quickly. So next year looks promising. I think a lot of things will happen within the next year. This could indicate that this is when you will meet the person. Let me say this. When I pulled this card, I was asking Spirit for a card for a date-related question for what would be an important time for your next romantic relationship. And so I pulled this. This could be when you actually meet them or when you start dating / being in a committed long-term relationship. Or it could be that you meet them sometime soon. And by next year looks promising. Yeah, I'm getting like this is being filmed and uploaded in 2026. You could be watching this in 2028. So in 2028, the next year would be 2029, even if it's January 1st. Well, maybe January 2nd. January 1st could indicate this year, but anyway, you get the vibe. This is timeless after all. But it seems like this is saying, yeah, sometime the next year will be promising in terms of a lot will happen. You could meet them, or you could move in with them. You could become engaged. You could become pregnant, or your partner could become pregnant, or you could move with them somewhere else, like a different location, a different city, different country even. Like, it just feels like a lot of things will happen, will move very quickly once it does start. So I know it says next year looks promising. That doesn't mean it has to be next year when you meet them or start dating. You could be starting to date sometime very soon, but then next year is when a lot of things will be falling into place and happening in close succession with one another. I'm seeing like event planning. So that could be for a wedding, or it could be you go to a lot of weddings together, or you do a lot of vacation together, a lot of traveling together. I am seeing a lot of location like bouncing. That doesn't just have to be moving. It could be like maybe that's one of the things you connect on actually is traveling to different places. I could see, and also it's, you know what it reminds me of too? It's like, oh, my family lives in this country, so you visit them like a couple times a year, and like your partner starts going with you. They're like, oh, well, I have family who lives on this side of the country, and so then you go there, and it's very much like that. I get the sense things will happen very quickly. I'm interested at what we'll pull over here, because I get the sense that, yeah, when things happen very quickly, it can be very overwhelming, and it can also bring out the worst in people sometimes when things happen so close together. Also, I'm hearing like things could be missed or overlooked. So like a quality in your partner could be overlooked because you're like, oh, but they have all these other great qualities. So that's something to consider. It could even be about yourself, right? Like you don't realize that you are a certain way in certain situations, and then your partner points it out. So I get the sense that by the end of this next year, I see there being quite tension, a lot of bickering. So I'll have to see what comes up over here. By the way, I was originally going to pull tarot cards for everybody, but I've just been yapping so much that I haven't had the time. But this is the quickest I've gone through this part. Let's go into over here. Your energy versus their energy. Let's do 3 months into like being a committed couple. Your energy versus their energy. Feel like somebody's card is in here. Maybe not. Well, okay. So it's going to do you and them, but this feels like it's both of your energy. You'll be on pretty much the same page. Incompatible. If you really knew me, you would know that we're not right together. So maybe the bickering starts right away. Interesting. I feel like going right away into pulling for... I wonder why that is. Why are you incompatible? Maybe I'll pull one tarot card so I can see what it is that you are... What's like a main thing you're incompatible over? So you'll be the lucky group who has a tarot card to help further identify what's going on here 3 months into being together. Why would you end up together then? If you already know? Well, sometimes people don't show... show right away, but this feels like it'll kind of be from the beginning, like you know about things that the other person does or how they are, like going into the relationship, but you'll be like, I think a lot of you are hoping that they'll change things. Yeah, Six of Wands, letter or news coming, victory news. So I feel like, let's see if I can do this. Will that work okay? Everything in frame? Yeah, okay. So it feels like, I feel like playing another card too, actually. One of these bottom cards. I'll put this back in, but this is going to provide extra clarification. Nine of Wands in reverse. Undecided, need to take a step out of the situation, then you will see more clearly. Yeah, it feels like you have different ways of dealing with conflict, and I think that will become an issue where at first I think it will be difficult to try. It's like you won't fully resolve issues. It's like, okay, are we done? Are we okay? Okay, let's move on. But then you don't actually move on. Where I think there will be things you'll carry forward in the relationship. And this is a saying that after a few months you won't even date anymore. But I'm sorry, I'm just realizing now. I think I said in the intro, like, the timeline of your next relationship, but it feels like it's more about the sorry, that's more of a me thing. Anyway, you know what, though? Me getting distracted like that, it's almost like I completely forgot I was doing this reading. I feel like, yeah, what's coming through here is you or the other person, or both of you, will just try to kind of forget and move, forget and move on method. Where it's like, okay, we talked about it. Are we done? Okay. But then it's like you didn't actually talk about it, you just said words. You didn't discuss it, you just said things to get the other person to, like, quote unquote shut up or to shut the situation down and just move on. It's like, well, we can deal with this later. But then resentment builds. So that's what's showing up here. It's like being afraid to communicate effectively. I feel like you or the other person or both of you could get very heated in disagreements, and it's very hard for you to use your words. I feel like there's a vulnerability there that you both don't wish to show, at least at first, is the way that this is coming across with the vulnerability. And it just, I'm hearing you won't see eye to eye. It will be hard to, top card wants to come out, Page of Swords, yeah. So it's like you're using words. Young woman of 25 years, spying or deception, reflecting back over your shoulder. This could indicate lying. I'm not really getting that sense as much, where it's like, yeah, you're saying you're saying a lot of words, but do they have meaning? And will it enact change? You're saying words, but then what? What will you do with those words? You can't just say words and then do nothing and expect change. So, very different in the way you could. Well, it's different, but it's not, because I get the sense both of you are kind of like this, where there's both conflict avoidance and also loving of conflict, where I don't know if I want to say loving of conflict, but there's conflicts that happen. Yeah, it's just I'm seeing talking but not resolving. So that's the thing. You'll talk, but you won't fully resolve. So I think that will carry through in your future here. I'm going to do 6 months into the relationship. Let's see what gloating. I'm always excited to talk to you about my friends. So, okay, that's good to see. It seems like things will be better. Like, at first, it's like you talk to your friends and you're like, oh my god, I, like, kind of hate this guy that I'm with, or I hate this lady that I'm with. I just think this shows that it's kind of a road bump at first to try to really understand each other. And also, over here, we see that there's an acceptance of there's things that you maybe thought they would change, but then you realize they won't change certain habits, or you won't change certain habits or parts of their personality or your personality. And so during this time from 3 to 6 months, it's saying, oh no, like, we're good. We just couldn't see eye to eye. Now we know how to actually open up to each other and not just attack each other. We know how to bring up conversation without, like, my partner could bring up a piece of information and I won't make it feel like it's a direct attack, and I won't attack them for feeling like they're attacking me, and back and forth and back and forth. And there's like key differences that both of you will learn to accept for one another, and once that acceptance happens, then it shows that you will be able to bring them around friends more. There will be a compatibility with like outside circles happening as well. So that's always good to see. And then let's see what's showing up for the future card or cards. How will you feel versus how will they feel? 12 months or a year into officially dating. Or being together. You versus you. You really know how to make me laugh. That's good to see. So it's like things will be kind of serious at first, and then it'll make its way into being more wholesome and just silly, it feels like, at least from your end. A year from now. And I think that any communication differences, it's like that's part of what makes you laugh 12 months from now. If you're still together, right? Like 12 months into it. What is their energy? What is their energy? Is it this top card? Attracted. You're incredibly alluring to me. See, it feels a lot more lighthearted. It's weird though. With these cards, it makes it seem like it's not super serious, even though it feels like a lot will happen. Maybe it's because you don't really take life very seriously, and the other person could be that way as well. Or you both grow to kind of be like that with each other. It's like, yeah, the world is burning, but I can make you laugh. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. But it seems like as time goes on, like there will be the road bump right away in the beginning. If you're able to work through those kinks, I don't mean it like that. If you're able to work through those obstacles, then I see you just being both more open. I think when people are afraid to let their guard down and be more vulnerable, it can allow this bickering to happen. Because it's like you're not fully being yourself, or you're not willing to express that you're sorry. Maybe even express how happy you are. I don't really get that. I get that it's just a sense that you not even necessarily view things differently. I mean, maybe a bit, but there's just certain quirks that people have. I don't even know what kind of examples. It's just like everyday common things, I feel like, will be the main issue here. But anyway, getting past that, you'll be happy, more light. And a lot of this does feel like it involves being more vulnerable, both of you opening up, saying what your insecurities are because of past relationships, saying what insecurities you have because of the way you look, right? Or about your gender expectations. So once you have these more tough conversations, it will feel a lot more easy, and it'll be easier to also bring up tough conversations. Also with a bit of laughter. Ooh, it makes me gave me some tingles there in the face. Where it's like, when life gets hard, when life gets bad even, if you can both find a way to be on the same wavelength, on the same page, it makes dealing with life a lot easier, even when the road bump involves your relationship. It's like going out about it. Like at this point, a year in, you should know enough about each other to know how each other works. So then part of what will help you dispel tension or anger is talk about it, but also it feels like laughing about when it's appropriate, laughing about certain parts, like certain fights maybe that you have, or just certain disagreements you have. So it's like learning to learning to love the differences. So there could be things that are different that you actually, instead of being angry, you find it funny, these different things, like how this other person is. But I see that when you or the other person gets anxious or upset with each other and out in the world, laughter will be very important, especially for you as well. And then you're incredibly alluring to me. So I just think this person will continue to grow closer to you as time moves on. They'll feel a lot more connected to you. And they will feel, I just think you both will see more of a future with each other as time goes on, like on, and like it I don't want to say necessarily as years go by, but it does kind of feel like it will be more of a long-term thing where you'll continue to grow closer together instead of further apart, like what happens for many people. And any differences that you continue to have in like any new things that happen that you both disagree on, or you know, it's just a negative thing that pops up, I get the sense that you'll be able to handle it. You'll be able to tackle it, especially using humor. That's really beautiful to end on that with you all. But I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. You can like the video, you can subscribe, you can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can check out my ASMR channels and all my other socials in the video description. I also have plenty of timeless pick a card reading videos on this channel and collective reading videos on this channel if you want to check those out. But thank you so much again, 3C, and take care. Bye-bye.